Welcome to the Copper King Mine and Railroad. That's the opening line for my YouTube channel. The Copper King Mine and Railroad is this HO model layout, and it's based on the workings of Bingham Canyon Mine. On my channel, we talk about Bingham Canyon's history and the surrounding communities, and about this layout. At the end of each video, it says, "Keep Bingham's history alive." Now it's your chance to do that by purchasing my new Arcadia book, Bingham Canyon. It will be in the stores July 1st, 2024. In celebration of my new book, I'm posting a YouTube video each week of the 10 chapters that will be in the book, counting down 10 weeks until the July 1st release date. So come along with me and take a trip up Bingham Canyon. The YouTube video shows some of the images that didn't make the high standards of Arcadia book. It gives me an opportunity to show more of my photographs of Bingham Canyon and gives you a good preview what is in each chapter. I will tell some of the highlights from each area as we move up the canyon. This week is chapter 4, Frogtown, so stay tuned. Bingham Canyon, Chapter 4, Frogtown. Moving up the canyon, the next community we come to is Frogtown, also called Lower Bingham. This was the widest spot in Bingham Canyon. Early settlers built a sawmill here. Lumber for the famous Salt Lake Tabernacle came from Bingham. Trains from the valley came to Bingham in 1873 by way of the Bingham Canyon and Camp Floyd Railroad. This was a narrow gauge railroad. Frogtown is where the train stopped, going no further up the canyon. December 1881, Denver Rio Grande Western purchased the Bingham and Camp Floyd Railroad. In 1890, they will standard gauge the whole line. July 2nd, 1890, the first standard gauge will pull into Frogtown. Because trains stopped at Frogtown, the mines around Bingham had to bring their ores down to Frogtown. First by horse and wagons, what was hard considering the steepness of the canyon, then by gravity rail trams. Those rail tram lines will turn into the Copper Belt Railroad. The steep mountain grades and the sharp curves will make the new type of Shay locomotives a good fit for this line. The cranking geared Shay locomotives were slow. A man could walk faster, but powerful. Another way they got ore down to Frogtown was by aerial trams. Bingham Canyon had 4 aerial trams at one time. Now we have some beautiful pictures of these large aerial tram terminal buildings or tipples that once were in Frogtown. Ore buckets were hand-loaded at the mines, then dumped at the lower terminal buildings. The closest one shown in this photograph was the lower terminal building for the Highland Boy mine, and that was up in Carfort Canyon. The terminal building in the background serviced the United States mines up in Upper Bingham, later to be called Copperfield. The aerial tram coming out of the Yampa mine came down the mountain and then right into the Yampa smelter that was in Frogtown. The Yampa smelter was only around for a few years in Frogtown. 1904 till 1910, the Yampa smelter filled the canyon with smoke. They tried to remedy that by building a flue up the side of the mountain to a higher smokestack. The Yampa mine could not supply the smelter with enough ore to keep it running. After the removal of the Yampa smelter, the slag dump remained as a reminder of the once smelter. Frogtown is where Bingham Canyon started to be populated. Houses and boarding houses and a few businesses lined the streets. Frogtown is the only place in Bingham that had enough room for 2 streets, Main Street and Railroad Avenue. Some of the famous businesses in Frogtown were the Royal Laundry, Adderley and Nichols Car Dealership and Service, and the Alexander Apartments, Bingham Grocery, and Cook Apartments. When the Cross Canyon tunnels were built, through them would be the beginning of Frogtown. 2 of the open pit mines tunnels had exit portals at Frogtown. The 6040 tunnel and the 5840 tunnel came out here in Frogtown. At the top of Frogtown, the road branched off and went up to Freeman Gulch, where there were more houses. A large rock formation narrowed the canyon back down. Fire Station Number 2 was built against that rock formation. Passing it would be considered the end of Frogtown. So that's Chapter 4, Frogtown, in the book Bingham Canyon.